We are in the site of a Roman fortress called Inchtuthil, or as the Romans called it, Pinata Castra. Can anybody tell me what Pinata Castra means?
Oh, I know.
Rain!
It means pine fortress.
That's what I meant to say.
All the trees around here. This is the most northern legionary base in the world. There are only 27 of these scattered throughout Europe, the Middle East and Africa. So this is a very special place. 5,500 Roman legionnaires would have been living right here. Just to tell you about the location, the River Tay is just over there. This here would have been the camp. Yes. Now I want you to imagine a camp in a rectangular wall over these fields. The walls would have had a V-shaped ditch, a very deep ditch like that. And beyond that there would have been an earth mount upon which there would have been a row of wooden stakes. And that would have been outer defences. Now these are very strong defences. Inside the fortress there would have been the legionary barracks. These would have been long buildings, long and rectangular, made of wood and wattled board. There would have been all like in rows.
What happened here?
I'll just tell you about the camp, that's all. And they would have been like a prisoner of war camp. That would have been the officers' quarters, and they also had a very big workshop here where all the wagons. You wanted to be a legionary. They got paid twice as good as the auxiliaries. And only Roman citizens could become legionaries. So you wouldn't have been a legionary, you would have been an auxiliary. In the middle there was the officers' quarters, and there was also a huge workshop here where all the wagons and all the equipment was repaired. This workshop was 70 metres long and 40 metres wide. It was huge, and they did all their repairs here. Now this is based on the north side of the Tay. The Romans chose their site very carefully. The Tay is chosen because it has access to the sea. Supplies can come up from London all the way up the coast, up the river, straight to this camp, where they could supply the camp. So it's easily supplied. But the Romans also had a message for the barbarians by placing it on the north side of the river. The north side of the river meant we can come and get you at any time, because we're not south, we're not protecting, we are north, we are poised to attack you. The barbarians, the free ones, are over that way, in the highlands, right? From here,
The freedom fighters are over there.
Inchtuthil. Imagine I am Inchtuthil, right? Roman forts would have extended in a line, following my arms, and they would have grasped the highlands like this. Here the highlands, and over here, Inchtuthil right in the middle. All smaller Roman forts at the end, all smaller forts right up in Inverness, and they hugged the highlands. And that was the Roman strategy, to strangle the highlands for food and to block them from coming south to all their mates further south. The south, the lowlands, was where most of the Scots lived because there was more food here. The highlands, not many people, because there's not much food, right? So you can't support a big population. The camp here was started in 83 AD and it was never finished. By 86 or 87, the Romans abandoned it. We don't know for sure why. But
Freedom fighters!
Yeah. No, it's not freedom fighters. One of the Roman legions, there are 4 Roman legions in Britain, one of them got withdrawn because there was problems in Romania, and they had to go to Romania. So there are only 3 left, and the Romans couldn't afford to keep a whole legion here. So the 20th legion that was based here, the Valerius and Victorious, they had to move south to fill the place taken by the legion that left. So the Romans abandoned this for about 86. They were never driven out, but they abandoned it. And the abandonment is very interesting. This brings me to the final part. The Romans abandoned this fort. They hadn't completed it yet because the officers' quarters had not been built. We know that because it's background. The Romans didn't leave anything behind for a value of the Scots. Right? For the Caledonians in those hills over there, iron was more valuable than gold and silver. They could use iron to make weapons. The Romans knew this. So when they destroyed they dismantled Inchtuthil here, they took down all the buildings, they took the wood with them, they burned all the daub and wattle, all the pottery, every single pot was smashed on purpose, and they had 750,000 iron nails, and these were used to build their fort. These iron nails were this long. They couldn't transport them back. They didn't have enough transport. We don't know the exact reason, but they couldn't transport.
In the water.
There was 7 tons of iron here. They were iron nails, beautiful iron nails. So what did the Romans do? They couldn't take it. They didn't want the Celts to have them, so they buried them. But they did it so cleverly. They dug a pit. It's somewhere out here. They put 7 tons of these nails in it. Then they put 6 feet of mud and sand over it. And then they destroyed the building carefully above it, so that there was no trace of any pit. These nails remained in the ground for 1900 years. The Celts never got them because the Caledonians could have used them to make weapons from. The Romans knew they didn't have much iron here. So they were discovered about 1952 by an archaeologist. The nails are in the museum, and if you look at them, they are in pristine condition. You could use them today to build a house. They are only about 20 years old. They were preserved, yes.
Well, maybe there's some more here then.
There are 750,000 of them.
You go looking.
But it shows you
How much were they
care
worth?
that the Romans took in dismantling this fortress. So that tells us that they weren't driven out. They had time to abandon it. They had time to smash the pottery, to dig this hole and put the nails in. They had to take, every single value was taken away. It was all taken south. So when Inchtuthil was abandoned, about 86, 87, we know that date because we found coins here from 86, but nothing from 87 or afterwards. So that means there were no coins here. So that gives us an idea. All the forts in the Bear Hug around the highlands, because the mother, Inchtuthil, was gone, all the other forts had to be abandoned. And they were abandoned slowly, one by one. First the northern forts. Yeah, carefully understand. And so all the forts were abandoned, one by one, starting right in the north. And the most northerly fort of the Romans was at Cawdor, which was right near Inverness, and they slowly withdrew, one by one. And we know it from the excavations of these forts that they were all demolished very carefully. Every single value was taken away. So that all points to an ordered Roman withdrawal, because one of the legions had been withdrawn from Britain. They didn't have the manpower.
So what about all those other forts that went that way and that way?
Yes, all the forts, and there are hundreds of them. There are dozens of them. There are dozens of them, and they were all situated in the entrances to the glen leading out into the highlands. It shows you the Romans must have had an incredible good knowledge of the countryside here. Without any maps, without any satellites, they knew the layout. The strategic location of this fort is superb.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this was this Inchtuthil, where we are now, is the sort of the nerve centre of the Roman system of conquest for Britain. The Romans had conquered Scotland, but they couldn't hold it because of essentially cutbacks.
Freedom fighters!
No, cutbacks. They were on austerity budget. So we are here, and you just imagine the fort here, yeah, that's it.
Here for 3 years then?
Inchtuthil was built about 82, 83, abandoned 86, 87.
Very short, yeah.
No, it wasn't even finished.
Well done, Will, that's brilliant.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, sorry about the weather, but...